Hey YouTube, petey twofinger here, back with a quick demo for this. I just put this together. I ran into this speaker at Goodwill. It's 8-inch dual voice coil, dual tweeter. It's a stereo speaker, so it's one speaker, but it's stereo. I don't know how that works. It's something you're supposed to put in your ceiling. If you have music piped throughout your house, this is the most expensive speaker that I could find that they sell to do that job. And I found it for $6.99 at a Goodwill in the box. Somebody handed me that box. So yeah, this is it's a goofy speaker. Typically you wouldn't think to use it for guitar. This is the box it came in. It's an ID850 8-inch dual voice coil ceiling speaker made by Aria. It's called the Channel Vision. ID850 is the model number. You can see here I paid $7 for it at the Goodwill, and it's $165 at Walmart, but you could find it for $135 at another place. I'm not sure about the shipping at that place. Anyway, it's a good speaker. And if you take a look at the inside, this is a silverware box. People used to keep their silverware in here. I bought that for $2 as a chassis on my way out of the Goodwill. I noticed it and thought, oh boy, that would probably make for a good chassis for this. So let me fix the light a little bit better. You can see it's got a crossover system, and there's two wires to hook up to this speaker, two sets of wires, because it's stereo. So then over here we have in this corner, here's the amp. Yeah, boy, this is not going to be the best video. The amp is this blue thing over here. It's a TDA 7498 Class D. I think it's about 100 per channel is what they rate it at, but it's probably much lower in this application. And then here's a switch that I put in. The jack, I counter sunk the jack kind of because the wood was a little thick, so I used what's called a Forstner bit to make that jack fit here. But it's just a single stereo in jack, so you could plug an iPod into this very easily. So basically, here's the power switch. There's a large LED. And it's fused, and then I put this 2 on there because that's my number, twofinger. So this amp here is now, it's running off of a computer power supply. Actually, this is for a monitor, I think is what this is for. It's called an E-wire power transformer, DC, wall wart, whatever you call it. And this one is 12 volt, 2.9 amps. So if I wanted to get more power out of this, it's not really an amp. It's a powered speaker is what it is. And this is what I'm getting back to with my point. If you're playing around with guitar modeling and you're doing that live, meaning you're not using a tube amp and a bunch of pedals, or whatever type of amp and a bunch of pedals, you're using something like a modeler, like a Line 6, a Bean, or if you're doing that with software, however you're doing that, it's a very affordable way to get a lot of tones. I'm using here today, I'm using a Zoom G1 is what, oh boy, I got to pull it all the way out. No, I can't. The camera's not going to, it's not going to, you're going to have to use your imagination. I'm using a Zoom G1, which is their really most affordable unit. It's $49 for that. Wow, this is really a lot of light, isn't it? So $49 little multi-effect. But yeah, so you want to hear it? It's basically, it's the Zoom, and I've got this turned down to level of 6 out of 100 because it's just too loud to play in the apartment with 12 volts. And if I was going to double that at 24 volts, be able to squeeze more power out of this amp. So the idea with this number 2 box here is I'm gonna, I've got the battery, the plastic packs that hold the lithium-ion cells. I'm going to use 4 of those that will hold 3, so I'll have 2 3s that equals 12.5 volts, and combine those in series to make 24 volts, and double that up in parallel to give it more milliamps. And that will be really way louder than what I need. But it's rated at 100 watts, so I'll have to put some sort of a volume control in it because As I tested this today, I didn't think it would be that loud, and it is. It's really loud. Even set low at 6. So for not a lot of money, you can put together a little rig that can get a lot of tones. If I was going to recommend somebody starting off and is into DIY, and instead of just getting like a Fender practice amp, I would say spend your money to get the Zoom. Get that thing, the G1, because the tones in it are really good. You have to program your own sounds, but it won't take you long fiddling with it to figure out how to do it. And then what I learned is using a full range speaker is going to get you more mileage than using a guitar speaker, because guitar cabinet speakers are different. They're more mid-range voiced, where what this device is, it really wants a full range speaker. So you have to get something that's rated, so you know you're not going to blow it, and just don't really push it too hard. Meaning, watch your EQ, watch your overall decibels. And I've never had a problem doing it that way, but most of the times I'll use a real guitar speaker and then EQ it, and then I'll put some sort of a tweeter. You know, having some sort of a horn for the high end is going to help out. It's going to give you what you're missing. And making sure that you're able to get enough bass out of the deal. But yeah, that was a quick amp. I had cut the hole the other day. I cut the round hole and plopped the speaker in there. And then today we did all the rest of this work from about like noon till about 3. It was about a 3-hour job because it really wasn't much to it. And then I'll mount the battery packs in it. And what that will mean is when we go outdoors to make music, I'll drop this down, plug one cable into it, plug that other cable into my Zoom G3, it's a weird cable. It has 2 1/4-inch cables on the one end, and on the other end it has just a single stereo going into here. But I've got that. It's like a studio cable, and then I've got an extension for that too. So I'll plug one cable in there, one cable into my Zoom G3. There's another cable that I plug into a wah-wah pedal, and then I'll plug my guitar in. The Zoom G3 runs on rechargeable batteries, or I have a power pack for that. But it's pretty much just set this thing down, plug it in, and turn it on, hit the switch. And it'll run all day on those batteries. It'll run 8 to 12 hours on those batteries, no problem. Because I've been doing this for years. We've been making music using these Class D amps and different types of batteries to make it work. Typically sealed lead acid batteries, but now I'm branching off into using the lithium-ion cells, which work wonderfully. So yeah, I just wanted to do a quick test video, keep this under 10 minutes, demo the amp, what it sounded like with a dirty sound on it, and thank you for joining me.